I think another thing which has happened with demonetization is that the tax base has gone up. The number of income tax return which got filed this year is like the highest in the last
Yeah,
whenever since the
absolutely. Yeah,
record.
we saw that.
And but only flip on the flip side, do you think or do we think that the people will start avoiding tax? Because although the formalization, you will see very few people, there will be the channels from where you could avoid tax kind of shut down. So how would people, there could be an option of people avoid paying taxes on
So,
it.
Samant, before I take this topic and put that perspective, uh, both income tax for individuals and GST for the companies. We all have been listening, hearing, and of course, reading about it. Is that कि GST को कैसे इधर से कैसे उसको हैंडल करें, which is some people coming still saying that यार registration नहीं हुआ, ये करना है, नहीं करना है. So it is still being seen as something which is going to hurt them. थोड़ी देर के लिए हम उसको साइड में करके विल कम बैक टू दैट लेटर. थोड़ी हम फोकस करते हैं कि पर्सनल इनकम टैक्स पे, राइट? Because that's something probably individuals, or which is large part of this country, would like to understand how easy or how difficult and how perhaps clear can it be for them in this fiscal year, given that all this has happened in last 6, 7, 8 months. क्या क्या कर सकते हैं हम, मतलब कुछ तो something has to be there हमारे देश में.
So I think two parts there. One is, of course, taxes is, and not just in India. I think taxation per se globally is one of the most complex, so to say, systems. Because as a government, like I said, what is your intent? Your intent is that anybody who is doing any commercial activity and is gaining from it should contribute for the welfare of the country. And to that extent, human beings are extremely innovative, and they will always be 2 steps ahead of any government or regime, and they will always try and find out new and better ways to avoid taxes. And tax avoidance is a very large, profitable business that exists globally. There are countries that exist on that business model. But I think coming back from a common आम आदमी perspective, I think उसके सामने दो तीन चीज़ें बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग हैं. एक, आई थिंक द गवर्नमेंट इज ऑल्सो टू ड्राइव द राइट बिहेवियर प्रोवाइड्स टैक्स ब्रेक्स, which is to say that if you do these right things, if you contribute to the nation's building by a different manner, I will help you save a little bit of tax. So I think that right behavior is being driven by the government in lot of instances, and all those tax breaks are also available. And I think Dhananjay, आपने बहुत important बात बोली, which is also about whether the common person is aware about it.
Right.
So there are a lot of things that the government is trying to incentivize, whether the common person is aware about it. The best example that I can give you is that I don't know any country in the world which says that if you invest in equity markets, all gains emanating from those investments are going to be tax-free. Not even a single country I know. And India as a country is trying to drive that behavior in our citizens, to say that look, we are coming from a age where all the investments or interest rates were dictated by the government. We were in a mandated savings regime. Government wants the users to go to market determined schemes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the exact number. The number keeps changing, but I would, put a guess to say significant percentage of our equity markets today, market capitalization, is owned by foreigners. A lot of people talk about it passionately to say it is like Angrez, when they came, they owned the largest business in India. It is like saying like this, that in Indian markets today, large chunk of significant, when I say significant, is called to be the number is between 60 to 70% is owned by FIIs, by foreigners. Now, for a country where maximum amount of stock market is owned by foreigners, the government is trying to give a very important behavioral tax advantage to the users or the citizens of the country, saying please benefit from the growth of your country, benefit from the equity and the wealth creation, invest in equity, and I will give you a tax break as well. So that's one. Apart from that, I think in personal income tax there are a lot of sections which allow you breaks, and these could be about housing loan, these could be about paying for your kids' education, tuition fees, it could be about saving in equity markets. By the way, Indian government says in section 8, as per as section 80C, if you save 1.5 lakh rupees in mandated equity schemes, you get tax breaks. That means 46,350 rupees can be saved by each one of us every financial year, and this money is invested in equity markets. So the government is not necessarily benefiting directly from it. The money is going into equity markets. It is creating a robust equity market framework because it wants the funds to be available to private sector, and the dividends from that is tax free. The gains from that is tax free. These are some fantastic schemes and options that are available for people to save tax. And unfortunately, I think the larger problem that we face is awareness, and of course the experience.